What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including ECW Legends Return to WWE, Christian Cage blasts ECW, why Vince McMahon met with TKO COO, is an AEW Star Leaving, Seth Rollins is going to do this after wrestling, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now let's see the intro and get straight into our first story. Our top story looks at ECW Legends Return to WWE. At top of today's news are the many happenings at last night's special episode of NXT. The former ECW arena served as a homecoming of sorts during last night's NXT, as several former ECW talents appeared in and out of the ring. There were appearances galore, including a main event with Trick Williams teaming with Bubba Ray Dudley to take on Ethan Page and Ridge Holland. While Williams and Bubba came up short, they created a post-match moment fans will never forget. Wrestling Inc. described what happened after the main event as after Holland pinned Williams, Bubba Ray came into the champion's aid. He held up Page in place as Williams went to the top to hit a "what's up" on the former champion. Williams looked for the table underneath the ring but couldn't find it. Unfortunately, Bubba Ray's longtime tag team partner Devon Dudley was in the house and he showed up with a table, leading to Bubba and Trick chokeslamming Page through the table. Rob Van Dam was also on the show, but things weren't as pleasant for him as he was ambushed by Wes Lee, who clobbered RVD with a steel chair, although the whole effing show scored some payback when he distracted Lee during his match against Javon Evans, giving Evans the pause he needed to rebound and defeat Lee. RVD hinted at a future match in NXT, and he replied to a fan on X who said he wanted Van Dam to wrestle that night, and he mentioned, "Me too, but I'll be back." Would you guys like to see RVD compete in NXT? Elsewhere on the show, Dawn Marie served as a special referee for the hardcore match between Lola Vice and Jada Parker. Former ECW talent Francine made a cameo as she was spotted in the audience. Kayfabe assistant NXT general manager Robert Stone got a taste of extreme wrestling when he began bad-mouthing Philadelphia fans, only for the lights to go out and former ECW superstar Rhino to deliver a gore. Another segment featured Nunzio, a member of the full-blooded Italians in ECW and WWE, speaking with the members of the Tony D'Angelo family before challenging him for the North American Championship. While Nunzio lost the match, he shook hands with D'Angelo and hugged him in a show of respect. Now, this was a really special event, not only because it aired on Wednesday instead of its usual Tuesday night spot, but because it aired at the former ECW arena in Philadelphia. While ECW is unlikely to return, although wrestling fans will never say never, last night's appearance are a reminder that its legacy endures 2 decades after the promotion folded. Next up, Christian Cage blasts ECW. Meanwhile, over on TNT, AEW Dynamite featured a promo from Christian Cage where the Patriarch took some shots at ECW. Cage didn't mention ECW by name, but told wrestler Hook, with whom Cage is feuding with, that Hook's father worked for an outlaw promotion as a big fish in a small pond. Christian mocked Taz, accusing him of failing when he hit the big time, that is the WWE, and hiding behind the announce table. Cage, who is trying to recruit Hook to his family of wrestlers, invited Hook to join him and become a star or consider life as an announcer. Whilst this promo was designed to further Cage's rivalry with Hook, you can be sure that AEW President Tony Khan was happy to hear Christian throwing shade at the WWE's ECW tribute. Of course, if Dynamite gets pasted in the ratings by NXT, as usually happens when they go head to head, this will look bad in hindsight. Next up, a major announcement made on NXT. Now, there was plenty of action on NXT, as well as a major announcement from the show's kayfabe general manager Ava. Ava announced that NXT's Deadline PLE is returning on 7th December, along with the fan favorite Iron Survivor Challenge match. WrestleTalk provided background on what the match entails. The Iron Survivor Challenge is a 25-minute match that features 5 competitors, starting with 2 wrestlers, and a new star enters every 5 minutes, the winner being decided by whoever has the most points before the time expires. Points are earned by pinfall, submission, or being the victim of a disqualification, while a competitor who is pinned, submitted, and disqualified will have to spend 90 seconds in a penalty box. The winner of the men's match receives a future match against the NXT champion, while the winner of the women's match features a future bout with the NXT women's champion. Next up, why did Vince McMahon meet with TKO COO? As interesting news concerning former WWE Kingpin Vince McMahon, as current TKO Holdings Chief Operating Officer Mark Shapiro recently revealed that he hears from Vince McMahon and in fact met with him a few weeks ago. He told CNBC Sports, "I had breakfast with him a few weeks ago just to check in. Been a long time. Haven't heard from him at all. Obviously the series on Netflix came out. I wanted to see kinda where he was. By the way, he couldn't have been more cooperative. He couldn't have been nicer. I mean, he was a total pro at breakfast, if you will. Shapiro stressed that McMahon no longer has any role in WWE. It's a one-on-one get-together, but he's out of the business entirely. He doesn't make decisions, he's not on the board, he doesn't opine. We don't consult him. We got some litigation that he's working through, and frankly, he wants the privacy and the time to work through. One of the most interesting takeaways was that Vince still has stock with the company, with Shapiro noting, and by the way, he's still a shareholder. Not the shareholder he once was, but he's still a shareholder. Shapiro added that Vince was positive with the direction the WWE is going in, but that he wasn't asking for McMahon's opinion. Next up is an AEW Star Leaving. Has Malachi Black worked his last match in AEW? Fans began asking this after last night's match between Adam Cole and the House of Black's leader. A new report from Fightful Select states, the end of the Adam Cole vs Malachi Black was strange in itself, as Black appeared to call for the finish. After the match, he rejected a handshake and hugged Adam Cole. Many afterwards speculated that it could be a send-off. Now, this is by no means the first time we've heard rumors of Black leaving AEW, but according to Fightful, Black's AEW deal is believed to end in 2024, early 2025. While Tony Khan reportedly said in 2022 that Black was under contract for almost 5 years, the Fightful Select story notes that Black's contract includes options which AEW may decide not to exercise. AEW, with a few exceptions, hasn't allowed its talent to leave early, especially when it's known they're headed to the WWE. Black took to Instagram to shoot down the rumors and speculation.
Here we are once more, a match down, and again, everybody is always retiring. He's retiring because of his injuries and this and that. Well, neither of these things. I'm not injured, nor am I retiring, nor am I leaving. I feel this happens every match I have, and I don't understand how many times you're going to say these things and then them not happening, and people still are going to, fall for that. I'm fine. I've been fine for the longest time. I would really appreciate it if that stuff stops, man. If I'm going to retire, you're going to hear from me.
Malachi Black is one of the AEW's most popular stars and one who can work with anyone. Whether or not AEW utilizes him to its full potential is a situation facing Malachi and many other wrestlers in AEW. Now, it's worth noting that there are no guarantees he'll fare better if he returns to WWE, as the promotion is also dealing with an excess of talent. Next up, Seth Rollins says he's going to do this after wrestling. Now, speaking of retirement, is Seth Rollins retiring from wrestling? The Visionary has showed no signs of letting up anytime soon, but during an interview with the Pivot podcast, Rollins explained he knows he's closer to the end than the beginning. The 38-year-old superstar then decided where he'd like to be when he finally retires. I think everybody's got their own blueprint. I think there's some people out there that love the Hollywood thing. I've done a couple of things. I don't love it. I wish I did. I wish I could say, man, I love it and I'm open. The Visionary continued explaining that while he wouldn't turn down Hollywood roles, he knows where his heart is. I just love my business, man. I love doing it. I love thinking about it. I love coming up with new ideas. Obviously, the performance aspect of it is fantastic. I think for me, when I started to phase out the in-ring, I would probably do something behind the scenes. Rollins explained what he sees for his future. For me, I see myself more like a Triple H. I see myself as a guy who might dabble in the movies and some stuff here and there, but I see myself continuing to help the business grow as I start to age out of the entering process. Seth is already working to help prepare the superstars of tomorrow with the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy he operates. WWE recently announced that the wrestling school will be part of the WWE ID program designed to scout and help future wrestling stars. And finally, Linda McMahon working for Trump transition team. Linda McMahon is going to go back to work for WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump again, as a new report states that she'll be working on the President-elect's transition team. Last August, the New York Times reported that Linda McMahon and Howard Lutnick would co-chair the Trump transition team if Trump won. A recent PBS report confirmed this is still the case. Transition co-chairs are Cantor Fitzgerald, CEO Howard Lutnick, and Linda McMahon, the former wrestling executive who previously led the Small Business Administration during Trump's first term. Mrs. McMahon provided financial backing for the 2024 Trump campaign, and according to WrestleNomics, Linda McMahon contributed $10 million to the Make America Great Inc. Political Action Committee, not to mention other political action committees associated with Trump and other Republican candidates. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.